Hey tribe, and welcome in. I am Coach Jocelyn. I'm the Date Thyself coach. I'm a relationship coach, life coach, and speaker. And today I just wanted to say happy birthday to myself. My birthday is this weekend, and something that I like to do around my birthday is to share some lessons that I have learned, not just for myself, but through my clients that I believe will be helpful for you in your current journey and wherever it is in life that you are going. It's so great to hear wisdom from others so that we don't make the same mistakes that other people make. And when we're armed with information, it allows us to make better decisions, right? Number one, the first thing that I learned is about forgiveness, and that forgiveness sets you free from pain, the past, and people. If you caught my last video, for those of you who are on YouTube, I talked about closure last week, and I talked about how a lot of times people don't want to give you closure for real because they use it as like a foot in the door. That's how they stay in your life, because of course, when you don't get closure, it makes it hard for you to move on. And a lot of times you stay stuck in that period of time, right? And one thing we don't want to do is be stuck in a period of time that, number one, hurt us, and number two, keeps us stagnant. When we don't learn the lesson that we need to learn from that situation, and we don't allow ourselves to commit to getting closure without that other person, then we stay stuck. And I learned this year that sometimes you can get triggered real quick, right? It could be something that happened 4, 5, 6 years ago, but the mention of somebody's name, or the mention of that thing, or something that's in your life that's a reminder of that person, like debt, or something you may have forgotten that you had, like an old letter or something like that, can be triggering. And it is okay if you have to forgive that person again. But what I love about forgiveness is that there is freedom in forgiveness. When you forgive someone, you not only release them, but you release yourself from what happened to you. You don't have to stay in victimhood, and it allows you to move on, especially in romantic relationships. A lot of times we get hurt in romantic relationships, and we'll say that we moved on, but the truth is, a lot of times we'll still be holding on to that, and we'll say, see, I knew you was like so-and-so, because you haven't healed from that. Everybody is different. There may be a few characteristics that are common between some people that you may have messed with, but that don't mean that that everybody is the same. So if you're still going around saying all men are dogs, women ain't nothing, or I'm going to give me a high value man and all this stuff like that, baby, you ain't healed yet. True forgiveness is so healing and so cleansing and refreshing that you'll wish that other person well. Like, honey, good for you. I hope that you get restored so that you can be better for somebody else than you were to me. And it's because you don't want to take that into a new relationship. You are dead wrong if you do that. And a person who does that to you is dead wrong as well. I am not the last person you dated. I don't care what Usher say. I don't remind you of nothing. I am Jocelyn, and I'm going to be me. And I hope the same is true for you. So just know that forgiveness gives you freedom for your past so you don't stay stuck there. It frees you from people when you allow yourself to get closure. And I'm going to drop a couple journal prompts out there this week so that if you are a person who is stuck in this place, I want to help you to get past that. But forgiveness is freedom. And then number two, something I learned about self-love is that self-love is maintaining habits that reflect my values and my beliefs. A lot of times when we think of self-love, it's like all you ever hear is like, oh, love yourself. Okay, girl, how we do that? It's just this basic information. But something that I've learned about self-love is that if I love myself, I will continue to keep the habits that reflect my beliefs and my values. So if I value my health and that I want to live a long time, but I want to live healthfully, and I don't want to live with certain sicknesses and diseases that are preventable, then I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to have portion control. I'm going to make sure that, baby, I'm going to enjoy myself, but not enjoy myself too much to my own detriment. So I make sure that I live up to the beliefs that I say that I have and the values that I say that I have. And also for those of you who are single or even in your marriage, even if you're married, when you reflect those in your daily habits, the people around you will respect that. The people around you may see something in them that they need to change and be like, you know what? I value that too. Maybe I need to live that way too. And they'll begin to value themselves more. So I want you to think about, what are your values and what do you believe? What do you firmly believe in? If you firmly believe in something, like for those of you who aren't new here, and for those of you who are new here, you'll learn that I value journaling. Journaling is such an important daily habit to me because, not all the time can you afford therapy and not all the time can you afford a coach. So you still need something that can help you to cope with day-to-day life and also to help you celebrate yourself. I know that sometimes people think that journaling is all this old melancholy thing or this thing where I just got to express myself when I'm in a bad mood. No, you should express yourself no matter what mood you're in. Journaling is a healthy way for you to express yourself so that you don't feel the need to go express yourself to Facebook or to somebody else. It helps you to get it out. And then you can also go back and look at it and read it and be like, oh, girl, you was going through it that moment. Thank God that I am no longer in that place. And you get to see your growth and you get to see where, okay, I may have been a little unfair to myself or to another person. Let me give myself or that person some grace, because you can go back and be reflective. That is one of my values. So values and beliefs is what sets you up for self-love. So those of you who are like, I don't know how to love myself again, you need to find your identity, and it'll help you through journaling and self-love. So try some of those things. Number 3, I learned that my identity is not in my title. I've worked with many doctors and professional women who they are really hung up on their titles. And I understand it because it takes a lot of work to get to that title, right? Like, that is no small feat. If you are a doctor or accountant or just whatever, you're in middle management or whatever type of job you in, it is no small feat in getting there. But the truth is that eventually that title is going to go away. You're going to get the title of retired. You're going to get another title, but that does not mean that your identity is wrapped in that. That is just something that you do. And that came from, working with my clients, because my heart was for them to see the value in who they were and not just in a title that they have. So I know that as a life coach, that I have all the commas. Okay. I have my MBA. I'm a certified life coach. I am a speaker. I'm also a Navy veteran, but those are things that I have done. Those are just titles that I have held, but they are not my identity. And so it's important for you to know what your true identity is, because when those things are taken away from you, you are still who you are. So I want you to remember that as well. Next, something I learned, and this probably sounds kind of silly, but I'm for real, is that I can be happy every day, that I get to choose how I feel. And I think a lot of times, we allow the day to tell us how we should feel or how we should be. But honestly, my perfect day always starts off with journaling, meditation, prayer, and reading my Bible. And that's how I start my day. Once I'm able to release anything that may have been on me, I get to choose how I go about my day. I get to choose to be happy. Now, there are some things that come in and affect my day, but at the end of the day, I get to choose to either let that roll off my shoulder or to continue to sit in it. And it has taught me how to process my thoughts or process my day so that it doesn't steal my joy or steal my happiness away from me. I get to dictate my happiness. So I have better days than I have kind of bad days or whatever, but I've learned how to process how I feel so that I can be happy. And let me tell y'all, I'm just living in the days that I have prayed for a few years ago. I prayed for the current life that I am living, and I am so thankful for this life that I have. So make sure you also practice gratitude. A lot of times we miss out on opportunities to be happy because we're so focused on something that's this small that we forget that it was a gift that we woke up. It was a gift that those around us are healthy, that we are healthy, and that we get another opportunity to get it right. So make sure that you're practicing gratitude as well. And then lastly, I learned that there is much joy and beauty in relationships. That it is important for us to pour into relationships. You know, a lot of times we're like, oh, I'm so ready to date. I'm so ready to do this. But the truth is that if you haven't poured into the relationships that you currently have, it's going to be hard for you to pour into a romantic relationship, because we need people in our life to help us through this romantic relationship. My prayer is that the people that you surround yourself with are not afraid to challenge you. They're not afraid to say, now, girl, you know you was wrong for that. But they're also not afraid to say, girl, I am so proud of you. You are truly doing your thing, because you need people like that. Because when you get into a romantic relationship, sometimes we think we are always right. Baby, let me tell you, a romantic relationship will show you exactly who you are. That person is like this mirror in your face that's showing you exactly who you are, but it's with good intention, because those type of relationships help us to continue to grow and to evolve as people. So make sure that you're nurturing every relationship that you have. Even at Brunch Buddy, you have to nurture that relationship. That bestie, you have to spend time with people. That's how you nurture relationships. You make time for what's important, so that when you get into romantic relationships, you don't just fall off to the wayside and be like, all right, girl, I was just using you before this man came. No, we still need those relationships. We don't change just because we get into romantic relationships. We want to be the best that we can be in every relationship. So make sure that you're nurturing those relationships, because that's what we get reciprocated. We want, as much as we pour into people, that they pour back into us. And if they're not, sometimes it's not the right season for them. Maybe they're so empty that they can't pour back into you. So I wouldn't advise just throwing relationships away. But at the same time, baby, if it's been a few years and this person just keeps taking, and they haven't given anything, it may be time to step away from that relationship. But make sure that you're journaling, it out, and make sure that you're talking to this person. Say exactly what you feel, because you have to stand in your truth. And remember that it's not what you say, it's how you say it, and be ready for whatever the response is that comes back to you. And if you get into some conversations that get a little hot and heavy, take some time back. If you need to step back for a minute, say, hey, look, give me a moment to collect my thoughts. Let's revisit this conversation at another time, and make sure that you set that particular time. Don't say that and then never come back to the conversation, because that allows resentment to build up. And this is how we destroy relationships, from bitterness and resentment. So make sure that you're actually going back to that conversation, and vice versa. If that person says, give me a moment, this is a little too heavy for me, give them that space. Because a lot of times, you know, some of us, we hot-headed and we be like, no, I want to talk about this right now. It may not be the time for that, because they're going to end up saying something they don't mean, or you may say something that you don't mean. And I don't care what they say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That is a lie from the pit of hell. Words do hurt. Because things that you say will make people think those are the things that come out from your heart, because from out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, right? So we have to be careful what we say and not be hot-headed. We don't want to react. We want to respond to people. So make sure that you're building up your relationships. Oh, and then one more thing. Having a creative outlet is essential. for me, my creative outlet is my nails. During the pandemic, I love getting my hair and my nails done right. So during the pandemic, of course, that kind of cut it out, and I had to figure out how to do my nails on my own. And I found out that doing that was a creative outlet that I truly enjoy. It makes me feel good. It builds my confidence. And of course, when I first started, honey, child, these these nails was looking rough. And then sometimes they look rough now too, because I be trying different stuff. I might try something that is out of my wheelhouse, but it helps me to build confidence. And it also helps me to build confidence in other areas that I am strengthened in. So don't be afraid to have a creative outlet. That can look like making candles. That can look like coloring or drawing. Baby, all you gonna get out of me is a stick figure. I cannot draw to save my life. So that was not something I wanted to try, but I truly enjoy doing my nails. So I hope that you choose a hobby that is creative. And the thing is that when you go about these things, for some of you, that may be how you meet people. If you love to paint, go to paint nights so that you can have opportunities to network and meet other people. It may look like candle making or wine tasting or whatever that may be for you. Find a creative outlet and pursue it with all your heart. Have fun with it, because that is an opportunity for you to find happiness and joy in a simple daily thing. Okay, so I hope that these tips were helpful. What are some of the lessons that you've learned since your last birthday? And if you've come into a new decade, I would love to hear about what you've learned from the last decade that you're taking into the new decade of your life. But I want you to be open to love, open to freedom, open to living a life that you truly enjoy and love, and that you can truly have fulfillment in. Okay, so thank you. This was a crossover episode. So for those of you who are on the Date Thyself podcast, I love you all to life. Come on over to YouTube and watch us on YouTube, because you'll be able to actually see me if you're not on Spotify. For my Spotify users, I know that you guys can see me if you so choose to. But come on over, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and enjoy the content over there, because the content is different, and vice versa. Thank you for my subscribers here on YouTube. I would love for you to come over to the podcast and check out the Date Thyself podcast, where you can check out interviews that I've done in the past of other people, and solo episodes where I talk about some of the things that I don't talk about here on the YouTube channel. So make sure that you go over there and follow me on the podcast. Okay. And as always, share this with somebody who needs it, and tell them to go ahead and become a part of the Date Thyself community. So I love you guys to life. I hope you have an awesome week. Celebrate my birthday for me. If you are out there, I want you to celebrate, and think about me when you're celebrating, and make sure you message me so that I know what you did to celebrate. Okay. Love you to life. Have an awesome week, and I will talk to you all on the next video/episode. Bye.